Tut, tut. Hardly any of you remember that my favorite color is lilac.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best Harry Potter scenes that were ultimately left out of the final product, for better or for worse. But probably for worse.
Do you hear from the others much? From the Order?
The Order's finished.
Number 30, Hagrid on the Underground. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. In the movie, we cut straight from Hagrid rescuing Harry to the streets of Diagon Alley. In the book, however, we actually get to see how they get there, the Muggle way. It's a cute scene that also includes a great setup for Norbert U's introduction later on.
Norbert, hey.
While the dragon doesn't play as big a role in the movie since the whole astronomy tower scene was cut, we do still get to meet the creature, so this would have been some nice foreshadowing.
Oh, I'd love a dragon.
You'd like a dragon?
Vastly misunderstood beasts, Harry. Vastly misunderstood.
More than anything, though, it's just super funny to see a half-giant riding the Muggle tube. Number 29, Hunting. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yeah, I'm still here. But you two carry on. Don't let me spoil the fun.
In the 7th book, a lot of emphasis is put on just how miserable things get for the Horcrux hunting trio, especially when food runs low. While we do see a lot of their struggle in the movie, this scene would have been a nice addition to flesh out the emotional state of both boys. There's a sense of competition between them. Like it's more than just about getting the rabbit, it's about who gets the rabbit. The hunt quickly turns into aiming at each other, and it at first seems like a good tussle will be all they need to blow off some steam. But when Ron actually manages to land a hit on Harry, the tension is back to a maximum. Number 28, Filch's Letter. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
You've murdered my cat.
No.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you!
If you've never read the books, you'd have no idea what a squib is since the movies never mention them. It can be inferred, based on what Aunt Petunia says about her sister, that some children born to wizards don't develop their ability to perform magic.
My perfect sister being who she was. My mother and father were so proud the day she got her letter.
In the Chamber of Secrets, it's revealed that Filch falls into this category when Harry finds his Quickspell letter, a part of a correspondence teaching beginner magic.
Mr. Filch, you dropped this.
This gives some extra dimension to the caretaker's character, as he clearly wishes he could perform magic. It's neat that the movies at least had the intention to include this detail. Number 27, Dudley's Smeltings uniform. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Yet another scene pulled from the books. This one features Dudley in his brand new school uniform. It's every bit as embarrassing as described on the page.
Will I have to wear that too?
What? You go to Smeltings?
Beyond being book accurate, it also lets us spend a little more time at home with young Harry and see exactly the kind of dynamic he's forced to endure every day.
Don't be so stupid. You're going to go to the state school where you belong. And this is what you're going to be wearing when I've finished dyeing it.
But that's Dudley's old uniform. It'll fit me like bits of old elephant skin.
It'll fit you well enough.
We also would have loved to see the bit where Aunt Petunia finds Harry's letters in the eggs. It helps emphasize the relentless persistence of the Wizarding School, not to mention how brilliant Fiona Shaw's acting is. Number 26. Neville defends Harry. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Neville has always been the GOAT, and this deleted line is yet another example. When Harry returns for his 5th year at Hogwarts, he doesn't have quite the support he'd hoped for, no thanks to the stories run about him in the Daily Prophet. Still, there are some on his side, though you wouldn't know it from the film's version of the altercation between Seamus and Harry.
The Daily Prophet's been saying a lot of things about you, Harry, and about Dumbledore as well.
What, and your mum believes them?
Well, nobody was there the night Cedric died.
Oh, well, I guess you should read the Prophet then, like your stupid mother. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
In the book, it happens in front of Dean, Neville, and Ron, the latter two of whom come to Harry's defense. In the movie, the whole common room is witness to the quarrel, and no one, not even Fred or George, defends Harry.
Do you believe the rubbish he's come out with about you-know-who?
Yeah, I do. Has anyone else got a problem with Harry?
This cut line from Neville, however, makes it clear he was always on the chosen one's side.
My gran says it's the Daily Prophet that's rubbish. She's cancelled our subscription.
Number 25. Ron talks to Harry, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Ron?
I'll be right back.
Given how many of Ron's qualities and big moments were sacrificed in the movies, we'd have loved to see this small moment. When Harry's feeling down at Christmas, Ron breaks away from the rest of the table and tries to cheer him up with offers of chess or visiting Hagrid.
Want to play chess? No. Want to go and visit Hagrid? No.
It's a small gesture, but one that shows Ron is paying attention, especially when he advises Harry not to go back to the Mirror of Erised.
Harry, I know what you're thinking, but don't. There's something not right about that mirror.
Everything about this exchange, from the subtlety of the acting to the music reinforcing the emotion, should have warranted making it into the finished film. Number 24. Holding Hands. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. We all know how the films butchered Harry and Ginny's relationship.
Shoelace.
Well, it turns out they also removed what could have been a small redeeming moment. There's a lot of power in silence, as it employs the show don't tell method, and this scene does exactly that. During the rigid marching of the Hogwarts students, Harry steps out of line to fall into step with Ginny, intertwining his hand with hers in the process. It really is so in line with his character to risk getting caught just to potentially provide her some comfort and find some strength of his own in her. Seriously, was it really worth sacrificing this to save 30 seconds? Number 23. Borgin and Burkes, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is yet another setup that had major payoff in the end. When Harry accidentally ends up in Nocturne Alley, he hides in a cabinet inside of Borgin and Burkes. Lucius and Draco walk in soon after, and we get to hear about how the perception of pureblood status is changing, as well as the suspicions the Malfoys are under.
The Ministry of Magic is conducting more raids on private houses. There's even rumors of a new Muggle Protection Act.
Pure wizard blood is counting for less everywhere, I'm afraid.
Not with me.
Most interestingly, however, is Harry's hiding place. It's the very vanishing cabinet the Death Eaters would later use to get into Hogwarts. This was an awesome reveal in the books, and it would have been great to see it on screen too. Number 22. Seeing Double, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. While the movies are often criticized for leaving things out, they also changed and added things for the better.
Why are you wearing glasses? Reading.
Reading? I didn't know you could read.
This incident would have been one.
Scar.
After Harry and Ron's Polyjuice potion begins to wear off, they run smack into the real Crabbe and Goyle in a scene that is so perfectly emblematic of the franchise's signature humor. It doesn't even necessitate dialogue to be funny, thanks to Crabbe and Goyle's impeccable facial expressions. We can only imagine the story they recounted to Malfoy when they got back to the common room. Number 21. How far Umbridge was willing to go. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
You know, I really hate children.
How is it that Voldemort gets the rep of the big bad when Umbridge exists? This is a character who makes our skin crawl in nearly every one of her scenes.
I mean, look what you've done to me! I cannot take it anymore! But I must. Authority must cannot be upheld.
In fact, just when we thought she couldn't possibly come up with any more torturous punishments, she proved us wrong. During the part of the story where Hermione leads Umbridge into the Dark Forest, we get an extended bit of dialogue that suggests Umbridge no longer cares to be creative with her torture.
For the greater good, I will do what must be done.
It's likely that this was deemed just a bit too dark, even for her, but it really brings home just how evil she is. Number 20. Peeves the Poltergeist, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. As any fans of the Harry Potter books will tell you, one of the larger characters cut from the films was Peeves the Poltergeist. A mischievous spirit who causes problems for students and faculty alike, Peeves was originally intended to appear in at least the first film. Actor Rick Mayall was actually cast to play the part, but despite at least one scene being filmed, the public still hasn't seen it as of 2023. The character has only been mentioned in a Harry Potter short film.
This handbag contains the reading glasses Her Majesty is due to use to read her speech at her 80th birthday celebrations.
That's today, isn't it? Peeves was using it as an excuse to drop red, white and blue eggs over everybody at breakfast.
We'll just have to imagine what it would have been like by watching Mayall play a similar character in the film Drop Dead Fred.
She killed me with the death breath! Begone, evil one!
Number 19. Hermione's Wedding Dance, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. One of the first major events in the first part of Harry Potter's dark final chapter is actually a happy occasion. The movie spends time depicting Bill Weasley and Fleur Delacour's wedding. During the festivities, there's dancing and general merriment. However, what we don't see in the finished film is that Hermione's sort of ex, Victor Krum, is at the wedding. In a deleted scene, the two reunite and dance together. Although the scene itself hasn't been officially released, behind-the-scenes footage and photos of the scene can be found. It would have been nice to see a reunion between the two play out before Ron and Hermione became a couple.
Is that Hermione Granger with Victor Krum?
No. Absolutely not.
Number 18. Snape and Karkaroff, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The Yule Ball is Harry's first big dance, but when he ducks out into a courtyard in a deleted scene, he finds that several of his classmates are interested in a lot more than dancing.
Get on.
After passing several closely entwined students, Harry hides among the columns as Professor Snape and Igor Karkaroff have a heated argument.
It's happening again, like before. And soon neither you or anyone else will be able to deny it.
Told you already, Igor. I see no reason to discuss it.
Karkaroff makes references to the dark marks on both their arms becoming clearer. However, Snape is more interested in catching some students in flagrante.
10 points from Hufflepuff, Fawcett. And the same for Ravenclaw, Stebbins.
Not only is the scene mostly finished, it also acts as a nice bit of foreshadowing.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? Then perhaps you wouldn't mind rolling up your sleeve?
It's a shame this dark and hormone-filled scene was cut from the final edit. Number 17. Fireside Conspiracy Theories, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Dark things abound during Harry's 4th year at Hogwarts, and every other year for that matter. But when a Ministry official and Triwizard Tournament judge Barty Crouch Sr. turns up dead, Harry and his friends speculate about the event in this deleted scene. While sitting around the fire, Ron suggests there will be a cover-up because of the adult's government position.
Nobody liked Crouch. I know this from my father. Loads of people wanted him dead.
Meanwhile, Hermione suggests a connection between the strange and grim events of the year and Crouch's death. Both of them advise that Harry talk to Dumbledore about the murder. And honestly, isn't that always the best policy?
Surviving the tournament isn't the answer anymore, Harry. It's bigger than this. And I really think you should go to Dumbledore.
Number 16. Luna comforts Harry, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This deleted scene was set shortly after the main trio, Luna and Griphook, escaped from Malfoy Manor. The triumphant event was overshadowed by the fact that Dobby died during their rescue.
Such a beautiful place to be with friends.
As Harry sits next to his lost friend's grave, Luna Lovegood approaches him and offers him some words of comfort for the late elf.
Funny how Mr. Dobby knew exactly where to find us.
It's funny.
She also indicates she's going to Hogwarts. While Harry tries to discourage her, Luna issues the perfect response.
It's not the place you left, you know.
It's not the same.
Neither am I.
This deleted scene also includes a great exposition about a magical mirror, plus the scene concludes with more of Hermione in Bellatrix's body.
How do I look?
Hideous.
Despite being a short sequence, there's a lot of little character beats and plot packed into this scene. Number 15. Post-Troll Talk. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. While Harry and Ron are friends basically from the moment they meet, it takes them a little longer to warm up to Hermione. After Ron hurts Hermione's feelings, she ends up crying alone in a bathroom, the same day a troll is on the loose.
Turn around in the dungeon!
The sequence where Harry and Ron run to save her from the beast is a defining moment of friendship for the three of them. However, a deleted scene cements their bond even further. A brief scene sees the trio walking down a hall. During their stroll, Harry remarks how Ron's partially to blame for Hermione needing saving.
Good of you to get us out of trouble like that. Mind you, we did save her life. Mind you, she might not have needed saving if you hadn't insulted her.
Ron, on the other hand, confirms their friendship verbally.
What are friends for?
It's a small distinction that makes it clear the trio's reached a turning point. Number 14. Snape meets Harry. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Professor Snape's intense dislike for Harry is evident from the moment they meet. However, their first meeting originally went a bit differently.
Mr. Potter, our new celebrity.
During his first potions class, Snape demands that Harry answer some complex potion-making questions. In the theatrical cut, the boy who lived simply says he doesn't know. But in a deleted scene, Harry gives a flippant response that suggests Hermione knew the answers.
Clearly, Hermione knows. Seems a pity not to ask her.
Silence.
He's definitely not wrong about that. However, in response, Snape gets all up in Harry's face.
A bezoar is a stone taken from the stomach of a goat, and it will save you from most poisons. As for monkshood and wolfbane, they are the same plant.
The professor also rapidly answers his own questions before taking points from Gryffindor.
And Gryffindors, note that 5 points will be taken from your house for your classmates' cheek.
While he claims it's for cheek, we're betting Snape was freaked out that Harry had his mother's eyes. Number 13. Ron explains the taboo. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Throughout the 7th film, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are repeatedly found by Voldemort's forces. In a deleted scene set after their escape from the Ministry of Magic, we find out how they keep getting discovered.
Well, Dumbledore had a theory that the Horcruxes wouldn't be made out of random objects, and they wouldn't be hidden randomly either.
As Harry and Hermione discuss their mission to find Horcruxes and how each item connects to Voldemort, Ron suddenly discourages them from saying the name aloud.
It scares me a bit, that. Thinking it's a piece
No,
of...
don't say it.
He explains that a magical taboo has been placed on Voldemort's name. This small detail lets them track whoever is brave or ignorant enough to speak it aloud.
It's taboo, you know whose name. That's how they track people now.
How do you know that?
Overheard some bloke at the ministry talking about it.
While book readers were aware of the taboo, moviegoers likely just thought that the main trio had really bad luck.
I hate it. It's like he's here with us.
Number 12. In Noctem, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Set before the tragic events of the Half-Blood Prince finale, this sequence showcases various characters witnessing an oncoming storm. The tone is set when Professor Flitwick conducts a choir of students as they perform the song In Noctem. As the singers perform their haunting melody, we're shown how concerned different residents of the castle are about future events. We get an especially long glimpse of a conflicted Snape's face covered in shadow. This scene might have been cut because it was a bit on the nose. However, we believe the scene has enough artistic merit to warrant its inclusion in the full film.
Go to your houses. No dawdling.
Number 11. Dumbledore's faith in Harry. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Dumbledore and Harry's trip to a terrifying seaside cave was a memorable one. To retrieve what they believe is a Horcrux, the duo had to overcome several traps left by Voldemort. During their adventure, Dumbledore is severely weakened, but he showcased enough strength to hold off an army of enemies.
One more, sir. One more, and then I
promise I'll do what you say.
In a removed scene, we see the duo exit the cave after the professor's fiery display. Dumbledore also leans on Harry and tells him he isn't worried for one precious reason.
It's all right, sir. Don't worry. We're nearly there.
I'm not worried, Harry. I'm with you.
Since the headmaster's time in the franchise was coming to an end, would it have killed the filmmakers to include this scene? Then again, maybe they left it out to spare our feelings. Number 10. Sir Cadogan, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Who dares challenge Sir Cadogan? Back, you scurvy braggarts! You roar!
He's back in mass.
Oh, what do you expect? After having the fat lady, none of the other pictures would take the job.
We all know that there are paintings that talk and move at Hogwarts, like Gryffindor Tower's Fat Lady, but one of these characters was tragically left on the cutting room floor, despite the levity that he brings to the Prisoner of Azkaban book.
Farewell, comrades. If ever you have need of noble heart and steely sinew, call upon Sir Cadogan.
Sir Cadogan is a valiant knight who replaces the Fat Lady as the guardian of Gryffindor Common Room, and unfortunately decides to let Sirius Black in because he has the passwords.
Certainly, good lady. He had the password. Checkmate. He had the whole week's, in fact, on a little piece of paper.
His daft demeanor and obliviousness would have been a bright point in a movie that's filled with darkness. Plus, this scene also lets us see McGonagall lecture Neville in her PJs.
Is it always going to be you, Longbottom?
I'm afraid so, Mum.
Number 9. Sybill Trelawney listening to Dolores Umbridge's speech. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
How lovely to see all your bright, happy faces smiling up at me.
In the Order of the Phoenix, it's an understatement to say that Professor Trelawney and Professor Umbridge do not get along. For instance, in the book, Umbridge terrorizes the seer when the Hogwarts High Inquisitor audits one of her classes. While this scene was filmed, it didn't make the theatrical cut.
Just one more thing, if it isn't too much bother. Could you please predict something for me?
But the focus of this entry is another instance. While Umbridge's treatment of the divination teacher is upsetting, there's a deleted scene that lets us see Trelawney's reaction to her welcome speech before things start to go downhill.
Thank you, Professor Umbridge.
Trelawney eats and drinks and shows how clearly unimpressed she is with the thinly veiled propaganda that Umbridge is trying to spread.
And prune practices that ought to be prohibited.
Number 8. Leglocker Curse. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Look at you, playing with your cards. Pathetic. We've got final exams coming up soon.
I'm ready. Ask me any question.
In the first movie, we get plenty of iconic scenes of Hermione badgering Harry and Ron to study and follow the rules.
Now, if you two don't mind, I'm going to bed before either of you come up with another clever idea to get us killed. Or worse, expelled.
In this scene set in the Great Hall, she lectures them about how they should be studying for their exams rather than playing with cards, when Neville hops in, having suffered from a leglocker curse. In a moment of foreshadowing, Ron tells him he needs to learn to stand up for himself.
You have got to start standing up to people, Neville.
How? I can barely stand at all.
Also, interestingly, this scene shows Harry finding a mention of Nicholas Flamel on a card, like he does in the book, rather than in a book, which is what made it into the final cut.
And his work on alchemy with his partner, Nicholas Flamel.
I knew the name sounded familiar. I read it on the train that day. Follow me.
Number 7. Is Harry the heir? Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
I mean to say, if Potter's marked him down as his next victim, it's best to keep a low profile for a while. But why would he want to attack Justin?
The ambiance in the book version of the Chamber of Secrets is a dark one, with Harry feeling isolated from his peers because they believe he's the one opening the Chamber of Secrets. While some of this comes across in the film, this deleted scene lets us in on what the other students are saying about Harry when they think he can't hear them.
And you definitely think Potter's the heir of Slytherin?
Hannah, he's a parcel mouth. Everyone knows that's the mark of a dark wizard.
They even speculate that Voldemort knew that Harry had darkness in him, and that's why he tried to kill him in the first place.
Didn't want another Dark Lord competing with him.
Number 6. You Need Us, Harry. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
You're brilliant. You're both brilliant.
Fans of the books will remember that at the end of The Half-Blood Prince, Harry announces that he will not be going back to Hogwarts for his 7th and final year of schooling, but will rather go hunting for Voldemort's Horcruxes.
I'm not coming back, Hermione. I've got to finish whatever Dumbledore started.
While he initially proposes this plan as though he's going to go alone, Ron and Hermione are having none of it, and assure him that they'll go with him.
Don't really think you're going to be able to find all these Horcruxes by yourself, do you? You need us, Harry.
In this deleted scene, we see Hermione telling Harry that he needs them, and Harry responding cheekily that the two of them will have to keep their burgeoning romance under wraps while they're trying to save the world.
When I'm around, keep the snogging to a minimum, please.
Like that's going to happen. Besides, he's barking.
Bonnie says the same thing about you.
Number 5. Ron trying to express his feelings. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Many fans were disappointed that Ron and Hermione's first kiss was completely different in the movies than it was in the books. In the books, Hermione finally goes for it after Ron expresses concern about the Hogwarts house elves. But since SPEW isn't in the movies, they went in another direction. Viewers can take solace in this scene that didn't make the cut though. In it, Ron and Hermione are running from Nagini during the Battle of Hogwarts, and Ron tries to use the moment of peril to tell Hermione something, but she insists that he wait for when they're not being chased by a giant snake.
There's something I need to tell you.
I don't want you to say anything that you wouldn't say if we weren't about to be killed by a giant snake. You'll just ruin it.
Another sweet Romini scene deleted from Part 1 of Deathly Hallows is one where they're skipping rocks together.
It's two. It's good.
Number 4. Harry grieving Sirius Black. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. For many Potter fans, Sirius Black's death in the Order of the Phoenix was one of the most shocking and devastating things that J.K. Rowling ever wrote. But in the movie, the producers were clearly short on time by the end of the action, and didn't leave much room for us to see Harry grieving his godfather. This scene is a simple and quiet one, but it shows Ron checking in on Harry and asking if he wants to come to the feast as he's packing his things.
Feast's about to start.
Thanks, Ron. I'm not really in the mood.
You know, I'm not hungry either.
You go on. Really, I'll be okay.
Harry isn't up for it, and when Ron sees Hermione in the common room, he gives her a look that says it all when it comes to how his friend is faring. Number 3. Draco Malfoy throwing Harry his wand. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
You have something of mine. I'd like it back.
Well, what's wrong with the one you have?
This one may come as a bit of a shock, because if you've only seen the movies, this will change your opinion of Draco Malfoy forever. After Voldemort thinks he's killed Harry and brings his body to show the Order and the students of Hogwarts, he's shocked when Harry actually leaps up alive. In a blink and you'll miss it moment though, which is markedly different from the final cut of the film, Malfoy shows his true colors when he runs forward and throws Harry his wand.
Run! Potter!
Though it could be considered out of character, it might have been interesting to see a glimmer of redemption for the young Malfoy. Number 2. The Dursleys Departure. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
This isn't just goodbye, boy, is it? This is farewell.
I don't understand. Isn't he coming with us?
Look, we get it. There was a lot going on in the Deathly Hallows, and they couldn't possibly fit everything into the movie. But they did split the story into 2 full-length films, so we're still a bit peeved that this was cut. In this scene, we see Harry saying goodbye to the Dursleys, and it gives us much more insight into both Petunia and Dudley's characters. Petunia reveals what she suffered when Harry's mother was killed by Voldemort, giving us a glimpse at her humanity and feelings.
You didn't just lose a mother that night in Godric's Hollow, you know. I lost a sister.
But perhaps even more notable is Dudley taking the time to say goodbye to Harry, and letting him know that he doesn't think he's a waste of space.
I don't think you're a waste of space.
Thanks.
Grab the tissues.
See you, Big D.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Remus Lupin and Nymphadora Tonks' reunion. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. J.K. Rowling broke all of our hearts when she killed both Lupin and Tonks during the Battle of Hogwarts. It was a blow we were unprepared for, and we could barely read through our tears when it was revealed. In the movie, there's so much going on that we don't have much time to process their demise.
And Remus, your son.
Others will tell him what his mother and father died for.
If this scene had made the final cut, the entire thing only would have been more devastating. As we see Tonks run to Lupin and hear him tell her she should have stayed home with their son. Seeing this tender moment is almost too much for us to bear.
You shouldn't have! It's Teddy who needs you.
He'll sleep till dawn and snore like his father. It's you that needs me tonight.
Which scene do you wish had been kept in? Let us know in the comments.
I don't appreciate the insinuation, Longbottom. Besides, if anyone cares to notice, my eyebrows have completely grown back.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.